Hi guys, hope you are all doing well. Today we are going to paint a Mother's Day card. Comes up here. And we are going to work with watercolor and ink. And like usual, I will put a link down in the description below for my Patreon site where you can find the sketch for free. Make sure to hang in there to the end of this video. I have a little challenge for you last in the video, so hang on in there. Please, if you like this video, please remember to like and also subscribe if you have not done that yet. And hit the notification bell because then you will get a notice when I have posted a new video. But what are we waiting for? Let's get started. I'm Miriam, an artist residing in beautiful Denmark. I do paintings in watercolor, wash, acrylics, well, pretty much any medium I can lay my hands on. I'm here to help you learn how to make beautiful paintings and learn different skills in mainly watercolor but also mixed media. Come, join me and let's paint some beautiful paintings together. If I can do it, you can do it. Okay, let me just show you the materials we are going to use for this painting. First of all, we are going to use a board like this, so you can tape your paper down. Then you will need a size A5. You could also, if you want the card to be smaller, cut this into half and take half a size. But anyways, I'm going to paint in this size. Then we're going to use some masking tape. Then we are going to use some brushes, a size 6 brush and a size 2 brush. And of course we're going to need some clean water. Then we are going to use some ink pens. This is unipin, size 01 and a size 05. And these are waterproof. This is very nice when you're working with watercolors because they won't bleed into the watercolors if they accidentally get wet, or have if you draw in first with the ink pen, the watercolors won't ruin the ink. So that's a good thing. And I am going to use this Winsor Newton ink, gold ink. If you don't have one of those, I can recommend a good gold pen, also waterproof. I really love this one, it's quite nice. But see what you have in your sketch if you don't have any of these. Now, if you have printed the sketch I put on Patreon, you're going to use a pencil as well. And then I will show you a way to transfer the sketch to your watercolor paper. But first, the colors we're going to use in the painting. The first color is Quinacridone purple, then we have Moonglow, and then we have sap green, then we have Perylene green, and then we have Quinacridone gold, and this is the cobalt teal, and we're also going to use some gold ink from Winsor Newton. So you take the printed sketch and cover the whole backside with pencil lines like this. Then you tape it on top of your watercolor paper, and then you take your pencil and begin to draw on top of the sketch you've just printed. And then because you have all the pencil lines on the backside, it will transfer to the paper underneath. I use it all the time, and here you can see the back side of the copy that I've printed. Yeah, and now it's time to begin with the painting, and I will begin with putting ink on. So where all the pencil lines are, I'm going to draw with my ink pen, and it's a size 0.1 ink pen. Just want the smallest tip on the ink pen. And then I take my rubber and remove all the pencil lines underneath the ink. There's no need to have that underneath the ink. And now it's time to paint. I've mixed up all the color in my mixing tray, and I begin with the Quinacridone purple. On some petals of the flower, I'll wet the area first and then go in with the Quinacridone purple. But since the drawing or the painting are so small, it's not really necessary. You can just go right in with the paint anyways, and then go in afterwards with a damp brush, because we want there to be dark places on the petal and some light places as well, or spaces. That makes it look more natural. And I will also darken up the Quinacridone purple with a little bit of the Moonglow later on. But I would want to do it mostly wet in wet, so that the paints flow together, because that gives a nicer look. Don't want too many hard edges on the petals of the flower. And it's like this with this painting, that I'm not putting paint on all the flowers. I will leave some of the flowers just as they are, with only the ink outline. And it's the same with the leaves. I will paint some of the leaves, and some of the leaves I will leave unpainted. And I will also shift between colors of the leaf, so I paint one leaf with the sap green and one leaf with the Perylene green, and some leaf will be with the gold paint, and yeah, and so on. And that's just to create variation and interest in the painting. And I could also, when I paint a leaf, put in sap green, for example, and then I can just drop in a little bit of the Quinacridone gold, or perhaps the phthalo green, and just to make it look different. And I will just do like this on all the flowers. No, not all of them. I will leave 2 flowers out. I will show you in a little bit the flowers I've left out. But just remember to leave 2 of them out, and you can decide which flowers you want to paint and which flowers you don't want to paint. You don't have to do exactly the same as I'm doing, and perhaps you prefer to put your colors a bit different than I do. That's completely okay. Just do what you feel like. I think it will be a pretty painting anyways. And you could also paint all the flowers if you like. Perhaps you would just prefer that. That's okay as well. I have just made this painting the way I felt would be nice. And here you see the flowers that I have chosen to paint. And now I will continue to paint in some leaves. And as I said before, I will just go in with different colors on the leaves. I will begin here with the sap green. And then I will just go around the painting and see where I think there need to be some colors on the leaves. And here I'm just painting the middle of the flower with some Quinacridone gold. And this is the only flower who has that middle, so. But now that I have the gold on my brush, I can continue and paint in some leaves with that color as well. And here I'm just dropping in some phthalo green and the Quinacridone gold color. Then I continue with the next leaf, and here it's the Perylene green. So we have some light leaves and we have some dark leaves. And later on I will also go in with my ink pen and paint in some completely black leaves. Just very small ones, but that'll look nice as well. And now I've just sped up the video a bit because I think you got the idea of how to paint this. And so now it's a good time to tell you a little bit about the challenge I put last in the video. I hope you're up for it, and it could be fun to see, but more of that later. Now I must apologize a bit for the light. It's so hard here in Denmark to find good lighting at the moment because it's winter time, and so I have this lamp in my ceiling, and I'm also shooting next to a window, but sometimes things just happens and then it just goes strange on me. So I really have some problems with the light when I'm shooting videos. So if any of you have any suggestions to how to put up a nice and good light to shoot in, I would be glad to hear it. And here you see I've grabbed my gold ink from Winsor Newton, and now I'm painting in some gold leaves. And here's my ink pen, and now I will go in and paint some leaf completely black. That will give quite a nice effect, I think, in the painting. And I think this painting is just a very light and pretty painting. And yeah, I felt like it would be a nice card to give to your mother on Mother's Day. So I hope you like it as well. You could also frame it. Since this is a size A5, you could put it in a pretty frame and give it to your mother. Now I have picked up my size 2 brush, and then I'm going to paint in the stems of the flowers. And I do that with a very watery mix of sap green. Now I go in with my 0.1 ink pen again, and I'm just going to paint in some details on the painting here and there, some fine lines, and also in the leaves, just define them some more. And this is the key word, variation, in the painting. That's what's giving the good effect. And now I want some text in the painting. I thought it should say Happy Mother's Day, so I'm just taking my ruler and making some lines, just so that the text will be nice to look at. And then I will just show you what I do when I'm going to find some text that I once wanted to look nice. And I don't know about your handwriting, but mine is not all that great. So I go to Pinterest. Then I have this board where I have saved lots of different fonts and ways to do calligraphy. I think it's called, the board is called Calligraphy. So if you find me on Instagram, you can go check out my board. And then I just find some examples of text that I thought could look pretty, and then I use that to write in. And I just do this by hand. It doesn't have to be all perfect, but it's nice to have made some lines with your ruler, or using your ruler so it's straight. So you can see that I've chosen to use 2 different kinds of fonts, so I felt like that would be pretty. I hope you like it as well. If you're really good at calligraphy, you could probably write it a lot prettier than I have here. And then I take my rubber and remove the pencil lines. And now it's time to remove the masking tape. And I use my hair dryers, and it usually goes well, but not this time. I tear the paper. Oh, that was really a bummer. But yeah, I was not paying enough attention when I was taking off the masking tape, so I will just rip the paper off afterwards. So there's nothing to do about that. So yeah, and this is the finished piece. I think it's quite pretty. I hope you like it as well. And now I'll tell you a little bit about the challenge. And the challenge is to make another card, but using your own favorite colors. Or look at your colors in your watercolor set and just pick out some colors that you think look pretty together. You could also choose only to work with cool colors, or only to work with warm colors, and just see how that would look. You could also perhaps put in a background or something like that. And if you feel like it, you could share it on Facebook, where I have this Facebook group called Miriam Thompson Art Studio Community. It would be great to see your paintings. But anyways, I really hope that you enjoyed this and that you could use it for something. And I hope to see you again in another video. God bless, be safe. Bye for now.